Hello, hi everyone, welcome. Hi Alberto, welcome as well. Thank you for
Hello.
joining me again. So, for our viewers, I'm Olta, Orientation and Admission Specialist at Talent Garden Innovation School. Alberto is with us today. He is Head of Design at Sketch-In, and he's also one of the teachers in our UX Design Fundamentals course. And we decided today to have this event related to the topic, how to land a job in UX design. First of all, if you don't mind to drop a pin where you are connected from, I would really like to know that. And Alberto, before we start, I would like to say a few words about Talent Garden and what we are about. So to all our new viewers, basically, Talent Garden is a community of innovators. We started in 2011 as a small co-working space in Italy, but now we have 18 campuses in Europe. And in 2015, we also added one of the most important pillars of our company, the Innovation School, where myself work in the admission part for two of our UX design courses. The trainings that we offer are usually related to digital and tech areas such as marketing, design, data, etc. If you'd like to know more, of course, you can go to our website, talentgarden.com, and you can see our campuses or our school. So, Alberto, as you know, I take care of the UX design programs, and I talk on a daily basis with candidates that are interested in UX design. Some of them would like to gain some skills because it's very important to have it, and others want to switch to UX design completely. Although the training part is a really interesting topic, I think that finding a job is like the other side of the coin. Of course, we all struggled at some point with finding a job, and we all know that it can be a really stressful process. But I believe that some suggestions and tips from experts can be actually very helpful. And that's why I decided to have you here today to talk a little bit about this topic and maybe say something very helpful for our students and followers in general. And guys, if you have questions, of course, you can use the comments. We will have at the end of the presentation a Q&A with Alberto. So Alberto, if you don't mind just telling us a little bit about yourself so we get to know you, and you can start with the presentation once you are ready.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Alta. Hello, everybody. I'm just gonna be really quick. I'm a lead interaction designer in Sketch-In. For anyone who doesn't know Sketch-In, it's a strategic design firm. We are located in Lugano, Switzerland, but we also have different studios in Italy, Spain, and basically we are 110 people, around 70, 80 designers, so we're a pretty big design studio. And I'm in Sketch-In since 5 years this year, and I did a lot of different things about design in Sketch-In with many different clients, corporate, startups, in many different places actually, because I did project in Russia, I went to Angola, Dubai, Germany, so all around basically at least Europe and Africa. And I will have this speech right now, actually telling you only my point of view into the hiring part, because I've been on the two different sides of that. So I am, of course, a designer that I did many interviews, and I get requests on LinkedIn from other design firm that actually wanna offer me a job. But on the other side, in Sketch-In, I'm also involved into the hiring process. So I'm also one of the designers that actually take a look at the portfolio, at the CV, and then I also I interview myself designers that want to join Sketch-In. So after some years of this, basically I just put together a few ideas that came up in my mind about this. So I think we can start with that. Yeah, that's me. But I mean, you're already watching me, so that's pretty useless, the picture. But anyway, I'm this one, and I'm gonna tell you about the job application as a customer journey. So I would like to explain to you how I believe that a job application should be done. And since I'm a designer and I do a lot of user flows and customer journey, I try to put it down together with 5 different phases that are connecting one to each other. So everything you have to do before starting to look for another job, when you apply to a new job offering, what you have to do before the interview, during the interview, and last but not least, after the interview. Because a lot of people think that the job application finish with the interview, but actually no, there is something after it. And I always like to say that applying to a job is not a single action. So it's not something that you do just once, but it's more like a process. So it's like something that you do constantly, something that you start to do that, and maybe you take 6 months to get a new job. So it's not like, okay, I just apply to one job and that's it. No, usually it's something that you keep doing every day until you finally get into another job. And talking about the preparation, there are a few different things that actually I think are valuable to do before getting into the mood of finding another job. The first one is about the purpose of a CV. That, in my opinion, I mean, everybody has an opinion on that. In my opinion, the only purpose of CV is that the recruiter just see you, just notice you, just see, oh, okay, that's Alberto. So that's it. So your CV has to pop up among many different other CVs. And because actually the recruiter is scraping hundreds of them, and you don't want that your CV is going to be just one of the many, but you need that your CV have something different. And last but not least, we'll talk also about how many pages a CV needs. I mean, the answer is pretty simple, and we will see it. As we said, the CV has to be memorable. The idea is that the recruiter can maybe forget your name, but not your CV. That's mandatory. So they don't have to forget your CV. We are designers, so let's forget about standard formats, so European CV and stuff like that. No, because I mean they are pretty standard. And if when I look for another designer, I just want to see also from the CV what's the mindset of the designer. And last one, I mean, in my opinion, CV is just one page only. That's it. So nobody looks at the second page of Google search. Same is for recruiter. Nobody looks at the second page of the curriculum. This is mine. I mean, it's not the best CV ever, probably, but it's just for let you understand what I mean when I say one page and memorable. So I have just 3 columns. In the first one, I have all my personal info, like organizational skills, technical skills, my contacts, my Dribble, my Medium account. In the second column, the one in the center, I have my work experience, and then I have my education. So don't underestimate the education, because you don't just put your high school, but every conference you go, every class you attend to be specialized in something new, just finish there. So, for example, can be that maybe you work since, I don't know, 10 years, but maybe your education is full because you just attend a new course about a tool last year and you put it there. Then I had almost half of the page was empty. And since I really like data visualization and I wanted to point it out in my CV, I just created a very simple data visualization in which I have all the some jobs that I did on the some employers on the right, and some skills on some employers on the left, and some skills on the right. And basically, I just make it understand, okay, which job let me improve in which skills. Let's be honest. I mean, it's not super easy to understand this data visualization, but that's not the point of it. The point is that my CV pop up among others. Many times it happened that I went to an interview, and then the interviewer asked me about this chart, and I thought, okay, I, I reached my goal. I mean, the goal was that the CV remembered that the recruiter remembered my CV, and that's it. If they ask you about that into the interview, I mean, it's done. Then, still talking about preparation, we have LinkedIn. I mean, LinkedIn is the place where the most recruiters live, so you have to be there. So you cannot just not be there. And few things about this. I mean, first of all, the profile picture. So you should have a professional profile picture, but still something that tells something about you. So not picture of you at a party drinking a cocktail, but not even a boring picture. So you can decide what you will have, but something that tells a little bit about you, so who you are, but not like a party picture, for example. And then we have the intro. The intro, it's pretty important in LinkedIn, because basically many times it happened that it's the only thing that the recruiter will see. So it happens also to me that when I have to look for designer, I just go into the about section, and I will read about, okay, who you are. So here you should say who you are, what you do, what you like to do. So in few sentences, you have to just explain what makes you the best designer for them. And then we have post and description. So many times it happened to me that when I take a look at the LinkedIn of someone that applied to sketching, I see the experiences, but it's just lead designer, and that's it. There is nothing explaining what it means to be lead designer there. So my suggestion is always to explain what's the position, because maybe a recruiter doesn't know. And also think about that most of the recruiter that goes around on LinkedIn, they don't have a design background. They're just HR recruiters. So if you give a description helping them to understand which kind of designer you are, it's way better. Same thing for projects. So in LinkedIn, you can actually put projects, and that's also cool because it makes your profile more interesting, more engaging to the recruiters. So basically, use LinkedIn. Then we can talk about the portfolio. A portfolio can be everything. So I just put this image because as a designer, we always think that portfolio is a nice website with picture and nice and bold font in the middle. But that's the cliche of a portfolio. Actually, everything can be a portfolio. An Instagram profile can be a portfolio website, but a Twitter account can be a portfolio. A medium, a podcast, or an infographic, everything can be that. But as long as it says who you are and which are the work you did, that's a portfolio. For example, this is a portfolio of a design duo that I really like. They're called Antonio Rin from New York, and this is one single project they did. And my suggestion is that when you put the project into your portfolio, you have to tell the project, not just one picture and like, okay, I did this, that's it, because it's not engaging for me. So I want to know why you did that, how you get to the result, what was the ups and downs, everything. So this one that you're seeing right now, I mean, I'm keeping scrolling, so that's not a loop. This is still the same project, and basically they explain you everything, which were the inspirations, how they got there, how they got the job, everything. And this is usually that's really engaging for the recruiter, because you tell a story, and who is watching basically just keep who is watching there, taking a look at everything, reading, understanding everything you did. This is still the same project. I mean, they do this in a really, really good way, so you don't have to be so long. But many times I got to portfolio in which there is just one picture, and then I ask myself, okay, but what does it mean? What did they do into this project? Maybe they did the visual part, the interaction part, the wireframing. So explain what was your role into the project. This is my portfolio. I don't have a website. My portfolio is a Medium account because I like writing. So basically, I every time I do a project, I write a small post on Medium in which I explain everything about that. I explain how I made it, why I made it, what was the journey that brought me there. Even because I'm an interaction designer, so for me it's way more important how I got to the result than the result itself. So I want to explain the process behind. And then we get to the applying phase. So okay, you did everything here, you find a job, and you want to apply. There are a few things that you have to keep in mind. First of all, the cover letter. I mean, there are not in every country this is so important. So for example, in Italy, they don't expect always that you have a cover letter. But for example, I was living in Germany, and in Germany, yeah, the cover letter, it's almost mandatory. But my suggestion is that the cover letter is better to be customized on the job position. So don't send the same cover letter to everybody. But you don't have to start from scratch every time you customize it. So for example, what I did was to have a note where a docs basically where many different pieces of the cover letter that then I was combining like Lego. So I had an intro, and then I had different pieces of a body in which I was highlighting one skill or another one, and then I had some conclusions. And then based on the job position, I was basically composing the cover letter, just saying, okay, this intro is okay, and then I want to highlight this, and that. Maybe I was, I don't know, applying for a company that was looking for a designer that actually could also work with a cross-functional team with developers. And then so I was basically taking the part in which I say that I code by myself, but maybe that part for another company was actually not good at all. So basically I was just composing and creating a whole new cover letter every time. And if you customize the cover letter, don't forget to customize also the CV and the portfolio for every single job position. So let's say some position, maybe they require you to upload a PDF of your portfolio, and makes sense to, for example, not have too many projects in the portfolio. Let's say that from 5-6 projects are the normal number in a portfolio. So if you have, I don't know, 10, you can have different portfolios. So if you apply for a job position in which you will do more service design, maybe it's better to push those projects instead of other projects, and so on for every position. And yeah, it's you can also ask around and about the company, So my suggestion is always to don't go completely blind to an interview, to not knowing anything. So you can use LinkedIn, Facebook, Glassdoor. The best thing that I discovered that it's really effective is when I want to know something about the job position that I found out, I go on LinkedIn and I look for former employees. Even better if there are employees that they just resigned. Maybe, I don't know, they were working for a company since 1 month ago. They will tell you everything about the company. And former are way better than actual employee, because they will have no problem in telling you if there is something wrong with the company. It's something that they don't like. So I always go around and ask connection on LinkedIn. I mean, in the end, LinkedIn, that's what LinkedIn is made for also, not to connect to other professionists. And I asked them, hey, I just found this position on a company that I saw that you were working till last month. Would you suggest me to apply to that position? Can you tell me a little bit more about how was the company? And I mean, usually to me, everybody's always answering to me. And they always answer when people ask me about sketching. So no problem at all. So I mean, use this social network actually. And Yeah, and then another advice that I can give is to basically clean your social media profiles. I mean, not that you have to fake it, but I mean, the first thing that a recruiter do when actually when goes to when in receiving an application is going on LinkedIn, but also on Instagram, Facebook, and look for the candidate. And so maybe it's way better to make them private if you are applying to many jobs, or maybe to not show something that you think that maybe will not be okay for the recruiter, or maybe the opposite, showing something about you and make a statement. No, I am this one. If you don't like me because I post this, then I don't want to work for you. So think about the fact that anyway, in one way or the other, the recruiter will go to your social media profile and will take a look at your life. And then we get to the interview. So getting to the interview, the main question that usually I get asked to is, how can I deal with the interview if I work full time? But that's a no problem, because I mean, that's not a secret. Everybody knows that you're working, and the recruiter knows that you're working because they look for you on LinkedIn. They know that you have a full-time job, so that's fine. I mean, usually the recruiter will try to accomplish your wish. So I mean, if you want to have an interview, I don't know, during lunchtime or maybe after 6 p.m., it's something that's totally normal to ask. And usually recruiter, I mean, and also myself, when I do interview to other people, I always try to make it happen, basically. So it's not a problem at all. You can something else that you should do is ask for the people you will have the interview with. So if it's the recruiter, because maybe it's the first interview, you already know. If they set an interview with a manager or somebody else, ask for the name of that person. I mean, it's a right to know who you will have the interview with, and look for this person on LinkedIn. That's fine, or on Facebook. So for example, I did an interview, and before the interview, I just went on Facebook or on Instagram, and I looked for the guy I was having the interview with, and I figured out that it was one motorbiker, and he was really passionate about that. And I also had a motorbike too. So during the interview, I bring up the topic. So not saying, of course, that I was a stalker on Instagram, but I brought up the topic, and actually we had a nice conversation about motorbikes. And this is cool because it lets you engage with your interviewer. And don't worry if they will see the notification on LinkedIn that you look at their profile. That's totally fine. So every time I have an interview in Sketching with somebody that is applying, if I see that they go on LinkedIn, I mean, for me, it's a plus. So it means that they care about the position. They want to know who they will have the interview with. So it's not a problem at all. And then we finally get to the interview. So we get to the point in which you will actually see the other person. First of all, I mean, this looks stupid to say, but of course, don't get to the interview late, because in many companies, I mean, if you get there even 5 minutes late, I mean, you will not have the interview, but not even too early. So if you show up 30 minutes before, that's not okay, because maybe you will tell to the one that has to interview you that you are anxious, that, I mean, you can deal with pressure, you went there 30 minutes earlier, so that's not fine. What I usually do, if I have an interview, not online, but let's say physical interview, is going there a little bit before, and then if I get there, I don't know, 20 minutes before, so I know that's the place, then I go to a bar, I drink a coffee, and then I come back later, five minutes later. And during the interview, it's also important to understand when you have to tell about hard skills and soft skills. So hard skills, I mean, I guess everybody knows, but hard skills is when basically you talk about something that it's really specific about your work, like, I don't know, creating wireframes, building a prototype. And soft skills is more about how you manage to work. So being able to manage a meeting of 10 people, or be a mentor for junior, being able to talk with different level stakeholders. Think about that. Not everyone in an interview is interested in everything. So, for example, if you do the first interview with HR, usually they don't care a lot about hard skills, or at least, let's say, they care that you have them. So they just need to check out that, like, okay, can use Figma, can do a prototype, that's it. But to go to the next step, for them, it's way more important that you have a lot of soft skills, because they will think, okay, this is a good candidate as a fitting for a company, but they don't get into detail how you make a prototype super detailed, because actually they don't care at all. This is let's say simple to say, so be polite. But it's few weeks ago we had an interview in Sketching, and there was this guy that was really unpolite. And even if you are the best designer ever, I will never hire somebody that is unpolite, or somebody that is not honest. So you see that it's faking the interview. So doesn't matter if you are the best ever to create a prototype. If you are not honest and polite, I would prefer to hire somebody that is less skilled, but polite and honest, so I can trust this person. And remember that each recruiter has its goal, and will try to achieve them during the interview. Of course, it's like a game. So you have to be flexible with them, but sometimes you can also say no and put some boundaries. So, for example, the timing. So if I'm doing an interview with the US and I live in Europe, that's fine if they put me an interview at 10 p.m. But if they are in my same time zone, maybe it's not the best if they ask me to interview at 10 p.m. because this is also telling me a little bit about the company itself. Why this recruiter that is in my same time zone is working till 10 p.m. Is also the rest of the company working till 10 p.m.? Do I want to work there? So put some boundaries in that. And remember that you can interview the company too. So it's a two-way interview. So it's not just them interviewing you, it's also you interviewing them. So make questions. So, and if they ask you, do you have any question? Never answer no. No, it's the wrong answer to this. Any other answer, it's okay, but no, it's the wrong one. And also, so my suggestion is to prepare some question in advance. If you have it, perfect. If you don't have it, prepare some general question in case they ask you something. And always think about to who you're interviewing with. So if you are doing the first interview with somebody from HR, doesn't make any sense to ask which tool they use to prototype or to design, or how they organize the design sprint inside the team, because probably HR doesn't know anything about that. But maybe if you do an interview with the manager, makes sense to ask things like, okay, what's the plan for growing inside the company? Are you planning to hire more designer in the team? Which direction do you want to take? Talking about design thing. And if you're doing something with the team, with your teammates, actually, maybe you can ask things like, okay, can you tell me how you manage the work with inside the team, your daily routine, stuff like that. So always think about different level of question to different level of people you are talking with. And yeah, this is another one that's pretty tricky. So you never have to fake it, but you can try to make your point anyway. That's pretty tricky, this one. But for example, when they ask you if you can do something, never say yes if you can do that, because if after this maybe they ask you something practical to prove it, and you can't do that, that's the end of the interview. So they understood that you were cheating, and that's it. Basically, you can go home. But still say, okay, no, I can do this actually because I never experienced. I know what you're talking about, but I never experienced. But I'm really good in something else that it's really close to what you asked me, and I'm really eager to learn also the other one. So it's like, okay, I don't know how to do this, but I'm really good in something else that it's close, and I can actually I can learn that. So this is also letting them understand your mentality, your mindset. And then we have this pretty tough topic. At least in Italy, this is a pretty tough topic. So many times students and people ask me, but can I talk about money? I mean, my answer is yes. Everybody think it different. My answer is that talking about money, that's good. That's never something you can bring it up until the company asks to you. It's legit to ask about that, but if you do that, do it in a different way. So not ask for a net per month. So for example, here I'm talking a little bit way more about Europe and Italy, in which people tend to ask for a net per month, but always ask for if they have a budget for that position. Like, okay, do you have a budget about gross per year? I don't know, 50, 60K per year. Because if you ask a net per month, that it's pretty common in Italy and Europe, they will let you know that you're a newbie in the job field actually. So you can ask for that, but in this way actually. And then we have after the interview, because many people think that with the interview, I mean the design the hiring process is it's the end, but actually no, that's not the end. There is something that you can do after. First of all, you can make a quick follow-up. If you remember before, we were talking about a two-way interview now. So you're interviewing the company as well. So if they usually don't let you know anything, I mean, you should let them know if you like the interview or not. So like, I don't know. Thank you for the interview. Was a pleasure. What you really like in the interview? Something really short, but just to let them know that you care about that, that you enjoy in the interview, that you are eager to go to the next steps. Because actually, if you don't say anything, I mean, don't take for granted that they know that you are interested. Maybe they were asking the same, no, but do this guy like us or not? What are his feeling? So let them know that. Then you can make a second follow-up. Let's say 2-3 weeks later, you can make it. But I mean, always remember that maybe they have 50 candidates and maybe you were the first one in the list. So we'll take several weeks. But makes sense to, in 2-3 weeks, make a quick follow-up. Hey, what's up? I mean, I hope that everything's okay. How is going? Let me know something. No, that's fine. And also remember to ask in the first interview with HR about the next steps of the interview. So always ask like, okay, how many steps your interview process has? How long will it take till the next one? When will you will let me know something? So this will help you to know, okay, if they will have to let you know the week after, or maybe 1 month. But don't beg for a job. So if after the second follow-up they do not show up again, I mean, that's it, that's fine. Just move on to the next one. Maybe they will never let you know, or maybe they will let you know, I don't know, in 6 months. That's fine. Don't write them the third time or the fourth one, because then will be not okay, basically. Then I just wanna close this with a few considerations that are really personal. This is what I understood changing different companies in different countries, because I worked in Italy, in Switzerland, in Germany. What I got to is that the perfect company and the perfect job doesn't exist. Every company has some problem, and every company has some benefits. And these things change over time. It's just a matter of finding the one that fits you right now in this moment. And trust me, it won't fit you forever. I mean, in my opinion, if in 20 years I will be in the same company, in the same position, probably there will be a problem, because it means that I never changed. So when you will get to the point in which, okay, I change, maybe this company is not okay for me anymore, just find the next one and move on. That's fine. And the second consideration is that it's something that I do every time I look for a job. So basically, I always look for a job thinking about the next one. So when I apply to something, I think, okay, if I get this job, and I don't know, in 3 years, will let me this position apply to something that now I can apply to? If the answer is yes, okay, that's fine for me. That's good. So that's a job to take. If the answer is no, in 3 years I will apply to the same job I'm applying today, maybe no, maybe that's not the right point. The right point. When before actually getting in sketching, I was working in Switzerland, and I tried to apply to sketching, but I didn't get any answer. And then I figured out, okay, my profile was not okay, was not good enough. So I decided, okay, I need to change my job to make it happen that sketching will let me do the interview one day. And then I moved to Germany, and I took a job as an interaction designer in an e-commerce company, and I worked there 2 years. And then after these 2 years, actually, I made it to have interviews with sketching or other design studios, and they were exactly where I want to be. But 2 years before, I couldn't make it. So always think about the very next job, not the one that you are taking right now. And yeah, that's it actually. So I see that we have some question, right, Olta?
Yes, thank you, Alberto, for the presentation. First of all, I would like to say that it's very interesting to see that we have people from Italy, Switzerland, Denmark, even United States, we have them, and Ghana, also from Africa. We have Los Angeles. So yeah, we are having people from different continents, basically. So welcome to everyone once again. And we do have some questions. I also prepared some. I just have to crack the code of my writing because I'm very old-fashioned. So until I do that, we can answer what we have here already. So first of all, we started with, I think it's Lisa or Liza. She wanted the name of the design duo that you chose. Maybe you can write it in the comments if you have the chance.
I can't comment actually, but it's called Anton and Irene. They are a design duo in New York. They were formerly design director at Fantasy Interactive. That's it. You will, if you look for them, Anton Irene New York, Anton Irene Fantasy, you will find them. So basically, they were a design duo they were design directors in Fantasy. It's a huge studio in New York. And then at some point, they figured out that they were not actually designing anymore. They were only doing people management. And they decided to quit their job, and they opened a design studio, a really small one, because I think there are like 4 or 5 people, and to do only what they like. And they're really, really good one. And they're really funny because they also go around in conferences. And if you have the chance, I think that if you go on YouTube and look for them, maybe you will find some speech recording in a conference in which they explain you why they quit from the biggest design studio in the world, actually, to make their own small one. And it's pretty funny.
Okay, thank you. Then the next one, can you provide more examples for a good portfolio?
Okay, I mean, that's a tough one. I mean, there are many different portfolios out there. Let's say that you can go to Anton Irene and you get a really detailed portfolio about how to create, let's say, the normal portfolio, so in the web. But then you can actually also go on Medium, and you will find I hope you know Medium. It's the blogging platform basically, and you will find plenty of let's say portfolio of people, of designers that actually they just write about things they do. But for example, for some visual designers, a very good portfolio, it's also Instagram. So there are designers that they just have only Instagram for that. So I can provide you more names, but you can find different portfolios in different platforms actually, and not only the classical one in which there is just a website. No.
I have an idea if it's really important. This is my email address. And Alberto, for example, if you have a few links for nice portfolios that you think people could look into, then just whoever is interested can email me and we can send something as an example if it's like allowed and everything.
Sure.
Okay, the next one is Benjamin. What would be your advice for people who are switching careers and looking for a UX job for the first time with no previous work related experience? So first, Benjamin, I'm happy that you joined. Benjamin is our student in the UX Design Bootcamp. He just finished this edition. And actually, his profile is basically what I had in mind when I had the idea for this kind of event. So I'm glad that he and also some others joined. So if you could say something, Alberto.
Yeah, so this is a question that many times they make to me. So if you're so let's say that here there are two different cases. One, if when your previous job work experience is, let's say, not in design field but little bit related, at least in the same industry. So maybe you're not a designer, but I don't know, you're a developer, or you were working in marketing. So is that nothing to do with design, but still it happens many times to me that I work with developer and with people from marketing. So there you can highlight the fact that now you switch your career, now you are a designer, but you have a strong background in that. So for example, sometimes it happens also to us in sketching that there are, like, developers that apply to us and they now want to be a designer and they did the course and stuff like that. For us, it's a big value that they can code, because it's something that it's not the same as design, but it's something that can happen, that we stumble upon the need of coding. If you don't have, if you have something like, I don't know, you were a neuroscientist, so something that really has nothing to do, then try to point out your soft skills. Like, hey, I have nothing to do with design, but I was managing a team of 5 people, so I'm good in managing, in mentorship with junior people, in organizing the work. So it's something like, okay, I know that I will take somebody that's from the design point of view, it's a junior, so don't expect that he will be hired as a senior designer. I mean, that's impossible. So I will take somebody that will be a junior as designer, but that already knows how to work, how to organize things, how to lead the team. And maybe I will prefer this instead of a complete junior designer. So I think this it's a pro, but you have to make it count.
Thank you. I hope you got your answer, Benjamin. I think also Nikolai below has the same. So I hope you are satisfied. I think we can move to Zoe. How would you go about the job search if you are unsure about the type of company you want to work at?
Yeah, that's also something that I asked myself at the beginning of my career. So first of all, I mean, you're not marrying the company. I mean, you just join a company. If then you see that it's not okay for you, you can change. There is nothing wrong about that. But if you're really insecure about the industry, so fintech, edtech, I don't know, insurance, and I don't know, anything else, or e-commerce, whatever, then my advice is also to join a design studio. Because, for example, in sketching, right now I'm doing a project about marinas, so the harbor in different cities. Then I work for fintech. I did a project in telecommunication for 1 year. I did a lot of energy. So if you go for in a design studio, you have the chance to take a look at many different projects in different industry and think about where you want to go. So this will help you a lot. in understanding which kind of industry you want to go. So that's the best advice I can give you to you is to jump in a design studio. I don't know, maybe for 2 years, and then maybe in 2 years you can experience, I don't know, 4 or 5 different projects in different industry, and you have a cool background about where you want to go.
All right, thank you, Alberto. The next one is similar to what we already answered, but this is more, it could also be people that already studied all the time UX design, but they look for a job. And as you know, I think this is an issue in every possible position or area. You look for a job, they want you to do a lot of things and still call you junior. So it feels like there's never a job position that is for you that are a total beginner. Do companies use this as a trick somehow? How to fight this?
So, I mean, here my advice it's pretty simple. If somebody looks for a senior, I mean, you can apply, of course, but they will never get you if you're a junior. I mean, that's the gap. It's too high. So even in sketching, sometimes we look for senior because we need a senior designer for that position. So we definitely don't look at junior designers. But when they ask for mid designers, I mean, in that case, go for that. So if the gap is not super big, you can anyway apply because even if sometimes we look for mid, but if there is a junior that is really good and really stand out from the other, I mean, that's fine. I mean, in the end, it's just a matter of labeling. No, I mean, it's not a matter of how long you're doing the designer. At least for us, it's just a matter of what you experienced. And maybe you can be a junior because maybe you work, I don't know, since 1 year, or you just finished your work, your studies, but this doesn't mean that you can't have a portfolio or experiences, because maybe you did, I don't know, the project that you did in your design course maybe could be the first one, or then maybe you did some project pro bono for other association or stuff like that. It's already a portfolio. So I would say that if it's for senior, I mean, you can do that, but don't. I mean, my advice is, I mean, don't put effort into that. But if the gap is not too big, I mean, go for this. You never know, and it's likely that maybe they also take a look at you that you're junior, even if they look for mid-senior.
Okay, the next one. What is your opinion about the interviews test? How much do they matter in the process of a candidate selection?
I mean, this depends. So there are some companies that they don't do that. Others that they do. For example, in sketching, we give a challenge to everyone that wanna work for us. So we give a design challenge, and we ask basically to design something. I mean, I'm not gonna spoil this to you because maybe someone will apply. So we give a certain time, and we ask to design something. It's like 3-4 days. So for us, it's pretty important. So for us, if you fail the design challenge, you will never make it to sketching. Other companies, they don't actually do it. I did an interview a few months ago. They called me for this job position, and I did the process. I did the interview, and for them the test was like I was in this interview with 2 other designers, one from Madrid and one from Buenos Aires. They just gave me the link of a Miro board. I guess you all know Miro. It's the collaborative tool, and actually was blank. And they asked me, okay, imagine that you have to design a refrigerator for blind people, and you have half an hour, and that was their test. So it was pretty tough because it was something that I was, I mean, not expecting to that. But I mean, usually if a company give you a test, I mean, you have to make it. I mean, if you fail it, you will not make it to the company.
Thank you. And the next one, we have Alessandro asking, how can a car designer apply for UX design job?
Yeah, that's tough. I mean, let's say, I mean, first of all, it's valid everything I said before. So highlight your soft skills, of course. And then I don't know, depend which kind of car designer you are, but I don't know, maybe you also manage to design, I don't know, how people, I don't know, interact with, for example, with the car. So how they open the car, how they the cockpit of the car. So that's already UX. So that's user experience. Of course, I will push a little bit less. I don't know, the fact that you design the colors of the car. That's still okay. So imagine the car has a let's say as a service. No, it has a face, it has something to show. That's the visual part. But then you have to use it, and maybe you also have you maybe you were involved also in how to use the car, how to access that, how to use the infotainment, everything. So try to bend it a little bit to the UX field. I mean, that's the best advice I can give.
Okay, I hope it helped. For Manuel, nice to see you here, Manuel. For someone that just starts in the UX world, should we go for internship before applying for UX position?
I mean, depend. If you don't find anyone that is gonna give you a full-time job, go for an internship. I mean, if they already are willing to give you a full-time position, junior full-time position, take the junior full-time. I mean, because internships also depends a lot on companies. I mean, maybe there is you can find a company in which it's really an internship, but maybe you will find a company in which it's just a junior position called internship. So I would say that if somebody is willing to give you a full-time job and paying you for that, take it. Otherwise, if you find, for example, I don't know, an internship in a really really cool company you really wanna go, okay, then take it. But if you have to choose between an internship to a company that is in the same position and as another that is going to give you a full time, I mean, take the junior position for me.
Okay, we have Ina. This is a very interesting question that I also have, to be honest, because I know that UX design is very broad. Sometimes you just work on one part of the project as a UX designer. So is it a good idea to indicate in the portfolio the exact task or contribution on a project you did in the team?
I mean, I would say that it's not a good idea. It's mandatory. I mean, if you did something, of course you have to if you have to point out exactly what was your role there, because many times I got portfolios in which there are, I don't know, for example, there is like a screenshot of a website of Nike or a cool company, and say, yeah, okay, but I know as a designer that for doing this website or for doing this service, maybe it takes a whole team 1 year. So I mean, I need to know what did you do in that, because I mean, you can't say that you did everything alone, no, by yourself. So I would say that that's mandatory, and also makes the portfolio way more interesting for me. Understanding, okay, that's the big picture of everything, but I did this, and this contributed to the final work. So I would say definitely yes.
Okay, so the other one is I am from PR with no design or sketching experience. What should I focus on? Sorry, it should be. What should I focus on to start with UX UI?
I mean, I will suggest you a course, because if you have no design background, no experience, everything. I mean, to be a junior designer, let's say, at least you need to know how to design something. Maybe you don't need to be super experienced. You don't need to that you accomplish many projects. But I mean, many times, for example, in sketching, some people apply that they have no background at all, and even if they look nice people and really willing to learn everything, I mean, a, a company is not a school. So I mean, you cannot think that a company will take somebody that has no experience at all and doesn't know anything about that world and will teach everything, because I mean, it's an effort. It's a really huge effort in that. So I will suggest you to take a course, at least learn the basics, and then use these basics to do some personal projects, some pro bono project, and then apply as a junior.
Okay, so we have another one. Little education on UX and UI. Would like to take a professional path in order to enter UX careers and working as freelance right now. Which path would you recommend as weekend only or part-time?
I mean, I think this question is more for you, Alta, than me, because
Yeah, I was about to say that actually we do offer two UX design courses. We have the UX design fundamentals. It's a full-time part-time course where also Alberto teaches in 2 live sessions per week, Monday and Wednesday. Plus we have some flexibility because we also have some self-paced materials that you can go through. And we also have a full-time bootcamp based in Vienna. So both programs can help you become a UX designer depending on your needs and how much time you have to actually study. So you can take a look at our website. I will put here again my email address, because tomorrow actually we will send out the brief for the scholarship. As for both programs, we offer the chance to win a full or partial scholarship. So if you are interested, you cannot book an interview for tomorrow because all the slots are taken. But since we already sent the brief, if you email me, I will make sure that you receive the brief and you try out to get the scholarship in our programs. So if you'd like to have Alberto, then the UX fundamentals, but we have a pool of experts for both courses, and we would be more than happy to have you guys. Then we have 2 more minutes. I will just choose one last question. Okay.
I can. Yeah, I would have to choose this one. Then I would like to answer also to the most important software, because it's pretty simple. It's Figma.
Okay.
That's it. I mean, Figma is the tool to go for a UX designer right now. Then there are many others, but they are more or less the same. But Figma right now is the standard for the market. So question done. Then what if your portfolio is not ready yet? That's a really cool question, because it depends. It's a matter of, I mean, your portfolio will never be finished as a designer. It's a law always, no? So as a designer, we never will finish our portfolio. But so don't wait till the portfolio is the best portfolio ever. But on the other side, I mean, don't if you wanna really get into a company, I mean, don't present something that it's not really cool. So don't present some crap just because you want to rush into. So it's a matter of balance. So don't take 6 months, because maybe they will hire somebody on your behalf, and that's it. So the position is gone. But on the other side, don't just put something because you are in a rush. So try to do your portfolio as lean as possible. So something that you can actually maintain easily without any problem, like, for example, a Medium account, as I do. I'm super lazy. I do a lot of different things. I don't have time to create a website. So I go Medium, for example.
Thank you, Alberto, very much. And thank you, everyone that actually asked a question and that joined us today to look at this presentation. So I hope to have you again in the future. Alberto, for sure, I will ask you to do another event with me. For now, we are done. We are right on time, right on schedule. Sorry for those that couldn't get an answer, but I believe that the questions were related to each other, so they all got an answer at the end. Thank you very much. Have a really nice evening, and I hope to see you guys soon. Don't forget to apply in our courses if you are interested. You hopefully have my email address, but you will still receive a follow-up email with the link to this presentation and event as well. So you can also check it in the future. Thank you once again, and have a nice evening. Bye.
Bye.